People of Zakul, the unthinkable has happened. Our beloved Emperor, Valkorion, is dead. Murdered by an outlander who sought to shake the foundations of our great society. The assassin will receive swift and just punishment. And this act of unprovoked aggression will be answered. As your new Emperor, I can promise you this. Zakul's enemies will face the full power of the eternal throne. They will answer for their warmongering ways. And every last one of the core worlds will burn.
Throughout the Sith Emperor's history, on many occasions his voice fell silent over his empire. This was because he had intentions to explore beyond the galaxy and known stars. Within wild space, the Emperor discovered the human-inhabited world of Zakul, along with the technological power of the Eternal Fleet. After raising a new empire in secret, he eventually decided to marry one of his own royal guards, Senya Taral. Together, they had 3 children. This is the story of Arcann, the would-be emperor. It is assumed that the Eternal Twins, Arcann and Fexen, were born somewhere between 3960 and 70 BBY, making them anywhere between 25 and 35 years old during the time you encounter Arcann in Star Wars The Old Republic. As we know, the Sith Emperor is a ruthless and cruel being of immense power. While under the guise of Valkorion, this was no different. When his twin sons were born, the Emperor was displeased. It was his intention to groom one of his children until he was ready to take their body for himself, or just consume their power as he did in the end with his daughter Vaylin. He knew that the 2 brothers would form a bond of love and respect, which would inevitably become a weakness. Valkorion started training both brothers from a young age, pitting them against his own royal guard and knights. Rather than channeling individual power, the brothers would often work together and help each other up. This once again would displease Valkorion. He would not simply tell them to fight to the death, or compete. This lesson had to be learned of their own accord. In time, the twins' sister was sent away to Nathima. You can learn her full story by watching this video here, the full story of Empress Vaylin explained. After seeing the cruel way Valkorion would treat the children, their mother Senya tried to intervene, but the children had grown to despise her, mostly due to Valkorion's manipulations. Because of this, Senya exiled herself from the family and stayed distant for many years. While Vaylin was imprisoned on Nathima, Fexen would send her gifts, but when the children had grown older and it was time to bring Vaylin home, it was Arcann who was sent rather than Fexen. This was because their father knew Vaylin was closer to Fexen and he disapproved of the family bonding. Not too long after Vaylin's return, Arcann had the idea to attack the Empire and Republic to test their strength. However, when this idea was brought to Valkorion, he approved only Fexen to lead the attack and forbid Arcann from going with him. Arcann disobeyed these orders and went with Vexen regardless. During the attacks, Arcann was injured twice. His face was severely burned from an explosion, and his arm had been blown off. He learned he wasn't invincible, but this did not stop his aggressive assault. Even with newly installed cybernetic limbs and augments, he was able to slay Darth Atroxa in battle. The numerous victories had not brought any gratification to the Emperor, so when the twins returned, with trophies in hand, he once again turned away from them. Arcann's immense rage boiled over, a rage that Vexen did not share with his brother. So when Arcann lashed out against his father, Vexen tried to stop him from making a bad choice, but in his rage, he saw only the need for blood and in his anger struck down his own brother. Although the lesson was hard, it was a lesson Valkorion was pleased Arcann had learned, and for the first time showing him praise for making real progress. But it would not last. Vexen's death filled Arcann with guilt and jealousy. He knew deep down his father favoured Vexen. He could just never admit it. Now that he was dead, Arcann found blame in his father, growing to despise him even more. Not too long after this, Darth Maul and the Outlander discovered the Eternal Fleet and are captured. When brought before Valkorion as prisoners, Arcann offers the Outlander the opportunity to strike at Valkorion. A few different things can happen here. The Outlander can kneel and share power, or they can choose to attack. For the purpose of this story, we will assume the Outlander is the one who dealt the critical blow to Valkorion.
You came here to defeat him. This is your chance.
First your brother, now your father.
Does my ambition truly surprise you?
You do not have ambition, only jealousy. That is why you fail.
You should have killed me when you had the chance.
In this scenario, Arcann will attack Valkorion while the Outlander stabs him from behind, destroying the body of Valkorion, but his essence dove into the body of the Outlander, bonding with them. Arcann could sense this, so he trapped the Outlander in carbonite to ensure neither the Outlander nor Valkorion could return. With the Outlander and Valkorion hidden away, Arcann was free to take the throne and do as he wished. And that he did. He declared himself Emperor of Zakuul and appointed Valen the High Justice. Arcann then blamed the death of the Emperor on the Outlander, using this as the reason they would attack the Republic and Empire. Within 12 months, the Eternal Fleet had beaten the galaxy into submission, forcing the Empire and Republic to recognize Zakuul as the superior power in the galaxy. Arcann also forces the other factions to pay tribute to them every year, bringing them riches and other various things of intrinsic value. The galaxy stayed this way for 5 years. Only small pockets of rebellion existed, but they were usually quelled quickly. In time, a former Sith intelligence agent known as Lana Beniko was able to rescue the Outlander from the clutches of Arcann and Zakuul, igniting a new rebellion and alliance between Imperial and Republic military. The Outlander leads the way with this new faction, named the Alliance, that will rise to challenge Arcann and his Eternal Fleet. Arcann was furious about this, leading him into a chase for the Outlander and to vanquish them along with his father's spirit once and for all. He successfully chased the Outlander to a secret location known as Asylum, a refuge for those looking to escape the tyranny of the Eternal Empire. When Arcann faces the Outlander, one of two things will happen. Either the Outlander will accept Valkorion's help and use his power to overwhelm Arcann,
You won't win, Father! I will destroy you!
Or the Outlander will refuse Valkorion's help, meaning that this time Arcann will win the fight. Either way, both Arcann and the Outlander survive. For the first time since the Eternal Empire had risen, they were being challenged. The conflict finds its way across the galaxy, even on his homeworld of Zakuul, where the Outlander infiltrated. Enraged by the resistance, Arcann goes on the full offensive and attacks the Alliance at their base on the world of Odessin. He had every intention to level the planet and leave no survivors. However, when the Outlander confronts Arcann again, his skills were outmatched. The Outlander had overcome the barriers between light and dark. The Force was their full ally now, in a sense that was all too familiar. Arkann's ship is attacked by the Gravestone superweapon, causing massive damage to the ship and the fleet, also causing the ship's bridge to collapse, leaving a wounded and defeated Arcann trapped.
Not like this.
It's over.
I choose my own fate.
His own mother, Senya, who had previously allied with the Outlander, had arrived to rescue Arcann. She knew he needed to be stopped, but she did not want him to die. Before being able to leave, Vaelin arrives and tries to confront Senya.
Please, come with me. What happened to Thexan? Arcann? I should have stayed.
You were weak. You left us. You left me.
I'm here now.
I'll never be what you want. Why? Why?
Vaelin, there's hope for you. For both of you. Come with me.
Vaelin!
Senya carries the wounded Arcann to her shuttle and she leaves, fleeing the Outlander's wrath. When Senya leaves, she seeks allies who might be able to help her redeem her son. She knows Arcann has a rage inside him that he cannot control. Perhaps he inherited this from his father. Senya knew she needed to expel this inner darkness in order to bring Arcann to redemption. She sets Arcann up on a bed with medical equipment attached to him. First, she visits the world of Ord Mantell, where she has former loyal knights waiting for her. The knights that served Senya were identifiable by their white-coloured armour, versus the traditional Zakuulan gold. However, when Senya arrives, This cinematic actually has an entire short story that goes with it. I covered it in a video which I'll link in the description. Now might also be a good time to mention that the Sacrifice trailer also has a short story that goes with it. I'll also leave a link to that video we made. I highly recommend both of them. They are great stories that help to understand the cinematic trailers in more depth. After a brief battle with Vaylin, Senya escapes on her shuttle with an unknown location. What we do know is that Senya learned the people of Voss may be able to help her son with a cleansing ritual. Such rituals were seen during the Sith Inquisitor storyline and other places. By the time Senya arrives to Voss with her son, the Outlander and Vaylin with the Eternal Fleet all show up at once. To briefly explain, when Arcann was defeated, his sister Vaylin assumed the throne in his place, making her Empress Vaylin now. And after she saw Senya save Arcann, she became very upset, chasing them down and relentlessly attacking. Vaylin sets the Eternal Fleet to bombard the world, but Senya is able to complete the healing ritual if the Outlander chooses to give them enough time. But it's also possible for the Outlander to refuse and instead fight Senya to get to Arcann. If the healing ritual completes, then Arcann can be redeemed. Senya sacrifices part of her life essence to make it so. But if the ritual fails, this will doom Arcann to a dark side ending. Arcann escapes the world of Voss regardless of the outcome here. He proceeds to find remnants of his empire and rally loyal soldiers. He makes his next appearance on his homeworld Zakul, where he will confront his sister and challenge her for the right to rule. A redeemed Arcann will arrive with no mask installed, but a dark side Arcann will come equipped with it. Not wearing the mask is a sign of his redemption and acceptance of his past. Arcann will face Vaylin, but ultimately, she will escape.
Sister. You never wanted the throne. Return it to me, and we'll destroy the Outlander and Father together.
Father planted this disease in my brain. Did you know?
He never shared his secrets.
Liar! Father's looking for you.
Outlander.
What happens next all depends on the Outlander's choices. If Arcann wears no mask, then it's possible to recruit him as he wishes to atone for the past. But if he wears the mask, he will not join them and insist on their death. If this is the case, Valkorion will confess to Arcann that he was never worthy of him.
Your time is over, son.
You and Father deserve each other. He destroys everything he touches. His home, his family, and soon, even you.
Valkorion chose me because his own son is a weakling. A failure.
Lies. The throne is mine.
You were never worthy of my affection, nor my empire.
You're a monster.
And you are a child.
So this is how I die. With the entire galaxy cheering you on. End it, Outlander.
Zakul! Look at your fallen emperor. Weak, pitiful, and destined to be forgotten. Struck down by the Outlander who will take his throne. He ruled in Valkorion's shadow. Now he dies in mine.
That would be the death of Darkseid-attuned Arcann. He would later make an appearance in the final battles with Valkorion and Tenebrae. However, if you recruit Arcann, he proves to be of incredible value much later. Once Vaylin is defeated and Valkorion is vanquished, Arcann will seek forgiveness for his past. The rage that once resided has gone, and now only the consequences of his actions remained. It's possible to form a relationship with Arcann, or just have them be a powerful ally. Arcann would later help to unravel the Darth Malgus plot. He helped discover crucial clues surrounding the identity of Darth Nul and what powers she used to possess. Arcann was able to attain some of this information from a vision. Arcann explains that after his ritual on Voss, he has since been experiencing elements of Voss mystic powers, almost as if he is now attuned to them. Arcann also discerns that his father had a lot to do with Darth Nul and her weapons, giving him an uneasy feeling of what's to come, and a sense of how much the galaxy his father affected during his reign. Upon this reflection, Arcann seeks to ensure a better future, no matter the cost. If he didn't do it for himself, he had to do it for Fexin, his brother. He would live a life that he would be proud of.